Stacy, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really good. We have Liz Brown coming up. Now, Liz is from Richmond, Virginia. She
Yes.
is an amazing eXp agent, but Liz's specialty is social media and more specifically TikTok. And she has a lot of great stuff, including a link to a free training that she's doing starting on Monday. So, everyone, please watch to the end and check out the link to that video in the video description. So without any further delay, Liz Brown. Liz Brown, welcome to the show.
Oh, glad to be here.
How are you doing today?
Perfect, per usual.
That's an amazing answer. So, Liz, we like to get right into it. We like to dive into it with people, but we want to know first a little bit about your backstory. So, can you please tell me what life looked like before real estate, maybe careers that preceded real estate as well?
Sure. So, I've always sold things in this world. So, even when I was in high school, I guess is when I started selling the things because I liked money. I've always liked money. So when I was in high school, one of my girlfriends was like, "Oh, hey, I can even tell you the story. We were in track, track and field, and we were laying on the mats, like the jumping mats, and she was like, "Oh, hey, Liz, I got this new job, and it's at the Beetle Bop Car Hop, and here's how it goes. You show up, and you have your little change purse, and you wear your little outfit, and it's like a purple T-shirt, and it has a little yellow VW Beetle on it, and you deliver people food. So it's like a waitress." But it was in the parking lot. So you're like a parking lot waitress, but there were not roller skates because it was like a gravel parking lot. So there was no roller skates involved. You just had to walk, but you had to do it when it was raining and when it was raining, people didn't want to eat outside. So I guess it wasn't that, but when it was hot and when it was cold and, it was a basic like teenage job. But I started doing that and it kind of led me down the path of entrepreneurship because once your brain knows that the harder I work or not necessarily the harder I work, but if I do these things, I get this money, right? So once your brain understands that, like the difference between, for instance, I've worked at the Gap before, like at the mall. And at the mall, you show up for 6 hours and you get paid for 6 hours, whether or not you sit in a chair and do nothing, or if you fold all the piles of clothes, right? There's you kind of learn the difference between the two. So once I learned that there is this world out there where your efforts are rewarded, I couldn't go down the other path. I've tried a couple times. I'm like, maybe it would be nice just to get a paycheck. It's not nice. It's in fact not the way I live my life. I'm never going to live my life. I'm actually going to add other jobs to it so I can make more money. And I'm like, where can I fit this thing and this thing? So before real estate, waitressing, I've worked at like the gym as far as like a Group X instructor. I've sold cars. I worked in the car business. I worked for American Honda. I sold money. I mean, I've done. You've sold it. You've bought it. I've sold it. How about that?
Nice. So car salesman. Hey, that's interesting. So, what pushed you into real estate? What was your start?
My husband moved around a lot because he also worked for American Honda. And so when you work for corporate America, you move every 2 to 3 years, right? So it was time for us to move again. And we had the real estate agent over and I didn't want to move again, but he was, going through the process of this is how you list your house and this is how much your house is worth and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, that was nice, but I'm not here to move again. I was like, that was cute, but it's a no for me. And we didn't end up moving that time. And so my husband got a different job and then he got to a different job and it got to the place where he didn't have a job. And then it got to the place where I didn't have health insurance. And I remember going to the doctor with my daughter and not being able to go to the doctor because they're like, sorry, you don't have health care. And I was like, oh, what do I do now? And they're like, well, you could go to this place or this place. And I was like, I don't go to those places. And they're like, you do now. And I was like, ooh, this feels bad. So I decided right then and there that I was going to do something else because I was a capable person in this world and I didn't need to rely on anyone telling me I couldn't do anything. So I just decided right there, I was like, you know what? Real estate sounds good. It literally was like right there in that car. I was like, what could I sell? Like, what could I've already sold cars. They're pretty big. That's a good living. Well, I don't want to do that because I have a daughter. So what's next? What was next was selling houses. So it wasn't like an immediate, like I was good at selling houses right away. Like, don't get carried away. Okay. It took me a couple months to be like, oh, this is how you do this. Because just like anything else that you sell, you have to like learn how to do it. You have to learn the language. You have to learn the process. You have to learn how do you get leads. Like there's learning involved. I'm often, I don't know about you, but people come into real estate thinking it's just magic.
Yes. And then they realize they actually have to work.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah. So I realized that. It took me about 6 months and then off I went selling the real estate.
Nice.
So when you first started in real estate, were you with eXp or a different brokerage?
I was with a different brokerage because I'm trying to think of when I started. I don't even know if eXp was a thing yet. So
2009 was the
beginning of it.
Yeah.
So I was with an independent brokerage who is now with eXp. So I started with an independent and we worked together in the Portland, Oregon area for about 3 years. And then I moved to Virginia. And when I moved to Virginia is when I literally stumbled into it. For those of you who watch this later and maybe you're just stumbling into it. I have a gift for the next thing that happens in my life is easily presented in front of me, right? What's the next thing? Well, here it is. Here you go. Oh, that feels really easy. Yeah, it can be easy. Sometimes the right answer can be really easy. So I was finding a house in Virginia, and one of the signs that I called on, because once you're a real estate agent, you don't need a real estate agent. That is actually a lie. That is a lie. Don't believe that, but that's what I thought at the time. So I called the sign, and the person who was on the sign was an eXp agent, and then I ended up joining their team, and I didn't know what it was until maybe almost 2 years later when I decided to like figure out what this thing was. And then once I figured it out, then it was all different. But it wasn't just like I'm going to go to eXp because it's so wonderful. It wasn't that. It was just, yeah, this will work. Yes. Okay. That.
So it was a 2-year process then, like from calling that person to ending up in eXp? Or you just...
No,
okay.
I joined. I just was, this is the form. It literally was like, we're with eXp, sign this form. And I was like, okay.
Okay. So
wouldn't you love that to be everyone? Wouldn't you love that? Like my spots are really happy.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
You didn't watch a video, you didn't get a presentation, you just signed up.
I just signed it.
Okay.
If only they were all like that.
Wait, we do this? Okay, fine. I'm going to do this. Okay. It can be that easy, right? It can be. If it's, especially if you run a team and that's just what your team does, right? There is that way to enter it, right? It doesn't have to be all the way that we've been taught. It can just be like, here's the way I do it. Would you like to come? And they're like, yeah, I'd like to come. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 2 years in, you started to fully understand the model. And did you jump into agent attraction at that point?
I did. So I probably do agent attraction differently than most people do it. I was in Cabo last week. So every spring, Brent Gove, who's one of the major attractors at eXp, has an event. And it's in Cabo. And so I was there last week. I was there and I was sitting in the audience and I really had this thought of, I do this way different than these people do. And that's the beautiful thing about eXp is that like no one is going to tell you that your way is right or wrong. All they care about is the results. And that's all you should care about. So if you like the way I do it, come do it with me. If you like the way you do it, or Stacy or Ryan, maybe you do it the same, maybe you do it differently. And I think that in different countries, it's different as well. And I know that because I have some agents in Germany and the way they do it is completely different because their culture is different. So the beautiful thing about it is I can attract agents my way and the agents that I attract are going to be like me and want to do it my way.
Yeah.
And then you're going to attract the agents that are like you. So it doesn't have to, it's so not cookie cutter, which I really love. And that you can attract your own type of people in your own tribe.
Yes.
Well, I'm dying to know, how do you do it?
Yes. That's what
I do. How do you do it, Liz? So most of it is on social media. I do very little local attracting. I'm working on my local attracting. The story has always been the person I'm associated with here locally is well known locally. So I kind of like me, I don't need those people, right? That has been the story. I would love them. I'm more focused on it now. Now that I have this other thing going, I do local events now. I do their TikTok lunches is what they call them. So the people that are doing the social media that I like doing, we meet once a month and we have lunch at a different restaurant around town because I like to eat. And we, after we're done eating, we make a TikTok or 2 or 3, right? And sometimes we do it at the table, sometimes we do it in the parking lot. I bring my tripod. Like it's an opportunity to talk to people who are in real estate. I have real estate and realtors and lenders that come to this lunch. And then it also gives you time to make some content that may be different than what you're typically used to making, because you can have someone else hold the camera, which is really nice. So the local events I do I planned a lot of events last year, and some of them were good and some of them were not. And I learned a lot about planning live events. And what I learned is you would think that it would be easy to get people to come to do something. But in reality, it's not, because people are busy and people have lives and people forget.
Yes.
And especially real estate agents, they're distracted easily. Like I could invite you to something today for tomorrow easier than I could tell you a month ago to tell you that it's tomorrow. That's just how real estate agents are. So I've done a lot of trial and error. So the TikTok lunch thing kind of grew out of, I used to do it at my office. It used to be formal. It used to be called something else. But then I got to the place where I did not want to do that. And if I didn't want to do it, why would I invite anyone to do it? So I like to eat. I like to make TikToks, and the kind of people I want to attract like all those things too. So now when I work with a local agent who I know is into social media and wants to learn how to do it, I just invite them to the lunch. Invite to the lunch. Hey, you want to come to lunch with us? We go to lunch once a week in Richmond. It's really fun. You want to come? Yeah, I want to come. Great. I'll add you to the list. So I add them to the calendar invite. And so you invite from the event to the next event. So at the end of the lunch, we decide where we're eating, and we decide when it's going to be and what time it's going to be. And we change it right then on the calendar invite, so everyone gets notified. And then the Monday before, I write a little text message, because I have a group text to everyone that's coming to lunch, that usually comes to lunch. Hey, you coming this week to lunch? It's on Thursday. And they're like, yes or no, or yes or no. Great. Day up, send the same text. Hey, we're meeting today. Here's the address. See you there noon. So that's the process of how you actually do an event that works. Have you guys done events? Is it similar to what you're doing? Or are you doing something totally different? I'm always curious.
We definitely do events, but the concept of like a TikTok lunch, I think would be way easier to get people to.
Yeah. Like we've tried a few different things, networking lunches. And then we've also tried just individual meetings with people, like coffee or lunch or supper. We had supper with somebody last week. But we are coming from different directions. So it would be nice to do a big group of agents and just meet regularly. That's interesting.
Especially if there's value, because if everyone's making social media content at the same table, that's kind of cool.
That's valuable for everybody. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. And we talk about like what's working on I mean, these people happen to be on TikTok, but we make it everywhere, right? So during lunch, we're talking about like, have you tried this? And did you see this? And did you see how this has changed? And how do you, like, what ideas are working for you and what's not working for you? And like, that kind of conversation. So that is what I want to know. That is what I want to talk about. So why would I know it's the value that I can add to agents locally. So why wouldn't I offer that to them? It's an interesting thing. People make time for things that they think are important and that add value to their lives. Mm-hmm. So me just asking them to go, like, I don't want to go to coffee with you. Why would I invite you to coffee? Like, that doesn't, like, I just am really focused on the agents that I want to attract are busy. They're busy. They're busy feeding their families. So if I could teach them something, if I can teach them how to make a better TikTok, if I can give them an idea, if I could help them show up better on video, if I could tell them not to say so at the beginning of their video, if I could teach them how to edit a video better, like, stuff like that really adds value to their lives, then they're going to want to come be with me. Yeah. They're going to ask me how I do my business. So it's in Cabo, we learned about push-pull marketing, where instead of always like, trying to get people. Instead, it's the other side of it, where they want to come. And then once they're here, you can tell them, hey, have you thought about doing business the way I do business? Would you like to know more about it? And then they're like, yeah, I kind of would. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
It's a longer process, I found, right? You're not just punching them in the throat. Come to eXp. It's a longer process. So you have to have patience with it, but it works.
Well, obviously, you see social media as of being of huge importance in your business. But what is the overall role you think it plays in real estate?
I think there's 1,000 ways to sell real estate, and you have to figure out the way that works for you.
Interesting.
For instance, Michelle Williams is from Arizona, and she talked at Build about the way she does it, and she has a morning call every day at 10:30, and I think it's called the 729 Club. And on this call for 30 minutes, they do role play, and there's no screens. It's just like they're all on a Zoom, or I don't know what they're on. They're on something. I think it's Zoom. And one main guy runs the role play, and he calls you out from, if you're in the audience, calls you out to do the role play. And they use Mike Ferry scripts, and it is like in your face, calling expireds, calling FSBOs, learning how to talk, because that's really important when you're a real estate agent, to be able to have conversations. That's what we get paid to do. And so he's teaching the agents how to do it, but it's at such an intense high level that it's like, I don't know if I like I have a hard time doing it. Could I play that game? Yes, I could play that game. Like, I've sold cars, I've negotiated, I've cold called, I've done the Red X, I've done the expired, I've done all that stuff, right? I can do that. Do I want to do that? I don't know. I could, right? If I needed to do it, could I do it? Yes. Do I think that call has value to people who want to sell real estate that way and need to learn how to quickly have good conversations? Yes. But would I rather make 10,000 TikTok videos? Yeah, I would. 100%. I would make TikTok videos all day long compared to making an hour of FSBO calls, right? So I just think that maybe there needs to be a mix, right? I still have to follow up with people. I still have to spend an hour in my business doing a 3x5, right? That's my goal this month, is to, call 5 people I know, and call 5 people I don't know, and call 5 people that I'm following up with. It sounds awful, but am I going to do it? Yes, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make the TikTok videos, and I'm going to get incoming leads, and it's not just, I just make TikTok videos, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
What other platforms do you utilize?
As far as social media?
Yes.
So I make my video on TikTok. That's where I make my videos, and I edit them there currently, right? I could do it somewhere else. Sometimes I make an Instagram reel, because they're different in that what they want in the format of it, and the sounds and all of that. That's different. So currently my current thing that I do is I make a video on TikTok, and then I have a VA who takes that video, removes the watermark, and puts it on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, and Pinterest.
Okay.
But I don't do that. You can also use something called Repurpose.io, and it does the same thing that she does, but it does it like automatically. So I think you need to be everywhere, because your clients are in different places.
I agree.
So you've been an agent for a while. What advice could you give agents looking to become top producers or grow their business?
I think you have to get used to doing the boring things. The things that are not shiny. Social media is shiny, right? It is shiny. It is fun. It's entertaining. It's what I want to do with my life. But when I really want to sell houses, I make my phone calls. I do my text. I do my video text. I'm kind of funny when it comes to selling real estate. I didn't sell as much last year as I did before. And so this year I'm like, could I do both, right? Could I do both better? Last year, I really focused on agent attraction and really built my business, really built my organization, and didn't sell very many houses because I wasn't my focus. So this year, my focus is, could I do both better? So my advice to someone who's trying to do both, because you have to fund the agent attraction game, right? It doesn't make a lot of money at first unless you're really good, really fast, right? Unless you get a builder who's a unicorn and, all the things. So if that's not you, and you want to do both, you have to pay very good attention to your calendar. You have to pay people to help you. I would also, if I was a top producer, learn how to delegate quicker, learn how to use a TC. Don't you dare do this job by yourself. Like, don't think you're that good that you can do this job by yourself. That's stupid. It's stupid. You're not that good. People that are good at selling real estate are good because they're fun and they're shiny and they're exciting and they can get along with people. That probably means your other strengths are not in paperwork. So you spending your time in paperwork. I have a transaction coordinator who's like, I would not sell the real estate I do without her. She is a gift. She manages she's to the place where she sends me text messages of important emails because she knows I don't read my emails in a timely fashion. So if something comes in that she's like, oh my gosh, she'll send me a text message screenshot of the email so I can pay attention to it right then. Like, that's who you need in this world if you want to go fast. So if you want to sell houses fast, you don't care about agent attraction, it's not something you want to do, you just want to sell a lot of houses, A, get a transaction coordinator, and B, maybe if you're new, considering joining a team. I've been on a team a long time, and I don't think it's a bad thing. People are like, they're taking your money. Are they? Are they? Or are they helping you get good really fast?
Something's better than nothing.
Right? Are you going to be poor, or would you rather them take some of your money and help you out and then teach you how to do the game, right? I joined a team when I started because I wanted someone to teach me how to do it right. I didn't want to have to figure it out. It's a great TikTok, by the way. Write it down. My real life.
I'm gonna deep dive into your TikTok account when we get done this. How often a day do you post on TikTok?
It depends. It really depends at this point because it depends on the time I have to spend on it. I still edit my videos, so it takes a while. It still takes time to make them. So at least one time, at least, right? Because I've made a video every day since June 16th of 2020. Every day I posted a video. So that's like 1,030 days or something, right? That's a long time to post every day a video. Now, do I make videos every day? No. But when I feel like making videos, I'm going to make 5 or 6 and I'm going to put them in my drafts. And ideally I'm going to edit them and have them ready to post. But sometimes if I get busy, like yesterday I was busy. I think I made 1 video and then I like edited 1 at night and posted it. So yesterday I did 2. Today I posted 1. This is funny, but my husband, we have this new series we're doing. So he did a voiceover on one of my videos and I'm going to edit it and I'm going to post it probably between this call and the next call I have. I'll post it and let it go. So usually between 1 and 5. It just
I do watch your Instagram reels. I kind of hate TikTok, but I'm trying. So trying.
It's not for everyone. Like, I totally get it. Like, that's why I put my videos other places. And that's why I have my VA do it, because Instagram's going to see my videos days later. So it gives them time. If someone saw it on TikTok, it gives them time to forget they saw it and see it again somewhere else. Right. So
don't get me wrong. I can sit there and watch those Elmo videos all day long, but can't go down that rabbit hole.
So. No, it is a rabbit hole. It's designed that way, actually.
Yeah.
All right, Liz, we're going to get into some questions that are a little bit different.
Fast and fun ones.
What is your favorite movie?
I don't really watch very many movies. Is that weird? It's weird.
Well, it depends. I mean,
I gotta listen to books. I don't read books. I listen to them occasionally.
Yeah,
I read
me
books.
too.
The movie that I watched last. How about the movie that I watched last?
Sure.
I watched Lyle Crocodile on the airplane, and I was like, this is not this. There's like holes in this story. Or,
That's funny.
I am unfamiliar.
It's a kid movie. My daughter loves the music for, so I was like, I should probably watch this and see what it's about.
What is your favorite thing when you're not doing real estate? What's your favorite thing to do?
I like to work out. I like teaching group exercise. I'm working on getting back into actually teaching it because during COVID, it wasn't a thing. No. I also like spending time with my chickens. Chickens outside.
Nice.
I like my chickens.
Mm-hmm. Do you put them on TikTok?
I do. They're there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's real life.
What book has had the most influence on you, and audiobooks count?
Audiobooks count. That's a good question. I like the book I'm currently reading right now is The Gap and the Gain
Ooh.
By who wrote that book? I'm bringing it up on my phone right now. I'm bringing my library up so I can tell you. I love, like, when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm listening to an audiobook, or sometimes when I'm driving, I'm listening to an audiobook. I read a lot. So probably the most influential book was the Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It talks about doing the things you're good at, not the things that you're not good at. So both books are kind of that sort of like self-help kind of thing, but that the Big Leap has probably changed my life
Nice.
the most.
I'm excited about this, so I'm just gonna say it. I started Never Split the Difference yesterday, so
Oh, I love that book.
yeah, it seems pretty interesting. I drive a lot, so that's when an audiobook. Last question and the hardest question of the day. What is the single best piece of advice you have ever been given?
Change Your Story, Change Your Life by Tony Robbins.
Nice.
I'm a Tony Robbins junkie. Like, I've been to all of his stuff. The stories you tell yourself are just, most of them are lies, or they're not true. Or if you would just change that story, you could change your life. So there's many times in my life where I'm like, is that the truth? Like, even the example I gave you about, I thought that I could only focus on agent attraction and not sell houses. Like, that was dumb. I could do this at the same time, right? So that little shift in my story of I can do both well. It is possible for me to do both things well. That little shift in my story is going to change this whole year for me financially, because you need to do both in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, Liz, that is a wrap on today. So we would like to thank you very, very much.
Thank you
for taking the time to join us on here. And where can people find you?
They can find me online at Liz Brown Realtor Daily. So all of my accounts have the same name and the same photo, and so should yours. So when you're going to look at your bio on the different platforms, make sure it's always your same name. So when people search for you, they're going to search for you by your name. So whatever your name happens to be, put that in your little, your little title, so they can easily find you. So it's Liz Brown Realtor Daily.
Excellent.
Nice.
Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, everyone check out. Thank you so much.
One more thing.
Yes.
I didn't even tell you this. Sorry, I forgot to tell you this. I do this thing. It's a free 5-day video challenge. I do it about once a quarter. So the next one's in April, but if you're listening to this later, so you find this recording later, I do it about once a quarter, and I do it live on Zoom, and it's, just like this. And I teach you how to be better on video. Ooh. And we do it 5 days straight. You should. It starts next Monday, and it's free. And you can find my links in all my bios, so you can register for your free seat. You need a seat because you need the Zoom link to it. Okay. So you just show up live on Zoom, and we have a private Facebook group, and we have some small group coaching if you want it. And it's just, I do it once a quarter because I know there's lots of new people that are getting into the game. So it's something that I offer as value to give back to other real estate agents and other lenders and other business owners. So join me for that.
That's awesome.
I will see you there.
Okay, you're welcome.
We're already perfect on video.
It's fun.
Nobody's perfect.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna learn something, and you're gonna network with people, which is the most important thing.
Yes.
That's
Thank you, Liz. Thanks everybody for watching.